Hello and welcome to yet another macro video. This time I'm looking at my two favourite macros, MultiSwitch and FRedit. They're my favourite because they save me more time than any other, I would say. Certainly FRedit does. And this was generated because somebody asked me what's the difference between MultiSwitch and FRedit. Now that's quite a perceptive question in that the two macros have a great deal of similarity in the sense that they're both about changing one word into another word, but they use different ways. So let's have a look at that. Each one has a list of words that it uses for replacing, so let's have a look at those. MultiSwitch, the way they're laid out is the find word is first on the line, and then the replace word is after it. So that is replaced by this, that is replaced by which, and so on. This is just an extract from a MultiSwitch list. FRedit, by comparison, the words are on the same line, separated by a vertical bar. So cranage with an E is replaced by cranage with an A, and supersede with a C is replaced by that with an S, and so on. Okay, so the main difference between the two is, apart from the way they're laid out there, is that FRedit works globally and MultiSwitch works selectively. So FRedit changes every occurrence of cranage with an E to cranage without an E, whereas in MultiSwitch I can select a word and then change it, and we'll see how that works in a second. So let's put that into practice in this sample text I've got here. Let's start by saying, okay, we are going to do a FRedit change, and so we decide what we're going to change. Well, I'm going to, for better or worse, I'm going to change which into that, and this job I'm working on has got lots of shalls, and so I'm going to change the shall into will. That'll do for now. Why don't we select them and give them a colour so that we can see what change is being made. So we can run FRedit to make those changes, and I'll run that from a keystroke. There we go, it's done those. So it's changed them all, and that means that every single which has been changed to that, and every single shall has been changed to will. And obviously you might decide that that's not a good idea. So let's first undo those two changes. 1, 2, so they've gone. What I'm going to do instead is to use FRedit to mark those words, the which and the shall, and so I'm going to use !ampersand to mark them rather than changing them all. So run FRedit again. So this time it's changed, only changed the colour of the words. So they are ready now, as I read, to decide what I'm going to do. So, for example, I go along here and I say many different things. I think that I would prefer. So click in the word which, and I run MultiSwitch, and it's changed. So let's just bring onto the screen my list of words that I use with MultiSwitch. So that's my, let's just open it slightly so you can see possibly that it's called, it's not going to show out, but ZZ switch list is the name of that file. So you can see that it's when I decided that which had to be changed to that, so I decide that one's okay. I look at where's some more of them. So I'm reading down here, just the sort of thing Again, I decide that should be changed to that. So that has changed. Oh, it's come on to the end of the line here. Look at that. Okay, now to look at the shalls, in fact I don't want to change them all to will. Some of them might be must and some of them might be may have to and so on. So if I try that first one, then what I've got here now is, if you look at the list down, I can't point to it, but down here there's shall, and then you've got must, has to, have to and will. Those are the 4 options for that word. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I can decide that this one is has to, so put in number 2, and I try this one and I decide that should be have to or something. So I can decide which of the 4 options I use for that. So you can see the difference between the 2 macros, FRedit, which does it globally, and in this case we can use global to mark things, and MultiSwitch, which only changes the one single occurrence where the cursor is. So I'd use FRedit while I'm preparing a document to be read, and I would use MultiSwitch where I am actually making the changes as I read through, word by word. I will use that to change things. And before I finish, I've got a hint that I've just sort of picked up as I've been working on this last job. I found myself adding comments. Now, okay, I've got comment add menu that I use a lot, where I can click on something and add a comment from a list of comments. But I decided with this job that all I was doing was creating a new comment there in the margin, and then writing in will this acronym be, and so on. I'm thinking, well, I'm writing the same comment several times. So what I decided to do was, at the beginning of my switch list, was to add those comments. And if I expand that out, so I've got I'm right at the top of the list, and there's the start of the main list. I just add in a couple of extra words, or in this case phrases, sentences, with a single letter in this case as the item from which I change. So the way that works, if I shrink that again, is let's get rid of that one. So I select that, I open a new comment, and I put A for acronym. So I've got the comment, will the readers know this? So there's some weird word like macros. That's a weird word, isn't it? And I think, well, okay, is this something that the so put the W and then run MultiSwitch. Will the knowledgeable reader understand this? I don't. Sorry. So whatever words, phrases you want to put in there, just stick them at the top, and then when you finish that job, you can just delete them, and you've got the rest of all your words for use by MultiSwitch still there. Okay, so I hope that's useful. Bye for now.